Episode 2 of Mayfair Witches Season 2 starts with Gifford Mayfair on the phone with a family member. She is simultaneously reading the cards and getting an ominous reading. She hangs up after asking for some space and warns the other party of the looming danger, but he pays her no heed. Meanwhile, Rowan cleans up and goes to check on Lasher in the basement. She is worried after she realizes he is gone. Before she can process what is happening, Lark calls to update her on his DNA findings. Unfortunately, he got an error when he ran the blood samples she sent him. He assumes her patient is not human and tries to ask more questions. Rowan cuts him off and asks him to continue researching on the DNA samples. As the night deepens, Lasher finds himself in Gifford's house. Strangely, she lets him into her house as she feels he is familiar. They talk a bit and start making out. Soon, Gifford sleeps, and Lasher grabs milk from her fridge. He is startled when she cries for help and seems in pain. He rushes to embrace her, and she bleeds out and dies. On the other hand, Cortland is still stuck in the nightmare after being turned into stone. This time, he sees his dad, who gluttonously eats all the food on the dining table while Cortland keeps serving him. Cortland listens as his dad berates him, accusing him of never being good enough. In the end, all the food is gone, and Cortland is forced to cut up his left hand and feed his dad. In the real world, Rowan brings JoJo to Cortland's statue. She is surprised when JoJo asks her not to free their dad and to find another way to find out Lasher's motive. As they talk, they get the sad news of Gifford's passing. Rowan and JoJo make their way to Gifford's house. Upon seeing the discarded empty milk bottle in a corner, Rowan realizes Lasher is responsible for Gifford's death. She follows his scent and ends up deep in the woods. Lasher hides from her but asks for her help. He refuses to show himself until she closes her eyes. Once she does, he explains that he didn't mean to kill the Mayfair women. He is attracted to their scent, but something happens when he gets physically intimate with them. Rowan tries to manipulate him to come with her. He, however, sees right through her and refuses to go back to living with her. He accuses her of trying to control her, and things get dicey between the two. Lasher pushes Rowan away and starts running. She chases after him and tries to kill him. Unfortunately, Lasher escapes and goes into hiding. We see him removing a bug inside his arm and feeding it his blood. The next day, Cyprian drops by Arjuna's place to pick up a trust fob. She advises him not to use it on Moira, but he insists that they are running out of time. The two get talking, and Arjuna reveals she has been having memory gaps. Cyprian explains that it must be the work of Albrecht. He wiped her memories, and there's no way to get them back. He also shares that he doesn't trust Albrecht, but the mission at hand. In the meantime, Rowan returns home and continues studying the family history. Millie's ghost continues to blame her for letting Lasher live. Millie thinks Rowan wants to keep Lasher alive so she can keep her powers. However, Rowan seems determined to track Lasher and put an end to his Mayfair women hunting spree. Meanwhile, Moira continues having a hard time getting close to her mom. She hangs out with a couple of childhood friends at the local pub. Cyprian approaches her and allows her to read his mind to gain her trust. She senses that he is still in love with Rowan. He asks why she wants to meet Lasher, and Moira says she wants to read Lasher's mind and find out why Tessa died. As night falls, Rowan starts conjuring up a storm to make it hard for Lasher to smell the scent of the Mayfair women. Her ritual is interrupted by Lark, who suddenly drops by. She doesn't invite him in but agrees to walk him to his hotel as they talk about the DNA analysis. When Lark tries to ask more questions, Rowan pushes him away and refuses to open up. She makes it look like she is simply finding a way to fit into her new family and new role as a person. Lark grows curious as Rowan grows more elusive. Lark explains that he identified 4 new chromosomes, and Rowan asks him to continue running more tests. Simultaneously, Lasher visits Alicia and she starts flirting with him and reminiscing about when Lasher would visit Deidre in their home. The two start getting intimate, and she ends up dead, too. Moira comes home and finds her mom bleeding out on the sofa. She contacts Cyprian and asks to come. News of Alicia's death travels fast. Jojo calls Rowan and interrupts her conversation with Lark. Jojo reveals he thinks Lasher is killing the Mayfair women, and Rowan agrees. Jojo also informs Rowan that Cyprian is at Alicia's house. The scene cuts to Cyprian, using his powers to find out what happened to Alicia. He immediately sees Lasher watching Alicia bleed to death. After Jojo's call, Rowan frees Cortland, who is still having haunting hallucinations about his dad. He manages to free himself from the shackles of his tyrant dad just as Rowan frees him. She asks him about Lasher's motive and is shocked when she realizes Cortland knows nothing. Cortland tries to apologize for his past behavior and blames his childhood, but Rowan refuses to forgive him. She orders him to get the family to the house and informs him that she is his new master. The episode ends with Cortland's dad trying to summon Rowan to probably warn her that Cortland is a useless, selfish man. Episode 2 picks up where the previous episode left, but it somehow feels bland. Maybe it is because we learned nothing new. We know that Lasher loves the scent of the Mayfair women and is hunting them down. However, he is not killing them out of spite and gets no joy for it. It is something beyond him, and no one has figured it out yet. It is no surprise that Cortland is in the dark when it comes to Lasher's motive, but we can't help but think he is hiding something. Rowan might think she has him on a short leash, but Cortland is a snake with a long neck. He will find a way to mess her plans up and use the situation to his advantage. As for Rowan, she hesitated to kill Lasher, but why? I doubt it is about the powers. She may have hopes of Lasher's redemption. He might be a grown man, but he still has lingering childhood innocence. We see this in the scenes where he is confused about words and their meaning, has no memories, and wants Rowan to love and stop him. Yet, for some reason, he instinctively can't trust her.